Alright, this is my faithful old keyboard, and I've got it disconnected because I wanted to show you a quick tip. Any keyboard that's been used for any serious length of time is pretty nasty, let's be honest. This thing, the numpad is looking pretty grotty, and it's just kind of getting embarrassing. So, I want to clean it up, and there's a really easy way to do that. Let me show you. Okay, so for what we're going to do, we're going to need to take all of the electronics out of the keyboard. And I took the back off. You just take a bunch of screws out, just comes right off. In case you haven't seen one of these keyboards inside before, there's just a couple layers of this plastic with a conductive layer on it, and then when you hit a key, it pushes together one of these two of these pads, and that tells the circuitry over here that a key has been pushed. Incidentally, this membrane stuff makes a pretty nice wallet if you just sew one together. This one's been like this for a couple months and it's holding up just fine. Okay, so I just peeled the circuit board off and the conductive films. Now we're just left with this weird octopus tentacle looking thing. This is what actually gives you your spring. So if you look at keyboard aficionados, they'll talk about buckling spring design and things like that. This is not a buckling spring. This is just a little piece of rubber that's elastic, but it doesn't give you a great feel when you're hitting the keys. It doesn't give you a very good click, but I don't know, good enough for me. Let's peel this off. You can start to see some of the grot already, and what we're left with is just the keys. So anyway, make sure everything loose is removed. Easy way to check is to just grab the keyboard, turn it right side up again, and see what falls out. Okay, so I've removed all the loose bits, just a couple more screws. And you might be thinking, oh, he's just gonna walk over to the sink and clean it off that way. Well, I'm much lazier than that. Okay, just a couple quick words of warning, apart from the obvious. You're putting electronics into a freaking dishwasher, come on, do this at your own risk. But anyway, as far as heat is concerned, all of this will be bathed in water, so there's no real chance of going above 100 degrees C, which is perfectly safe for this plastic. But there's one exception to that rule. See that black thing over there, the black loop? That's a heating element. It gets pretty hot. So if something were to fly out, say this thing, and lands on top of that element, it will get melted. It's especially risky for these things because they're pretty light, so they're easy to dislodge, and they're long, so they tend to get caught on those things. So just be careful. If you're not sure, put some sort of lid. And as a practical example, this thing flew out one time, and well, call them little stubs. 100% biodegradable phosphate, not tested on electronics. This hippie garbage. At least my dishwasher thinks it's a normal wash. Okay, so now this is important. Remember what I said about everything being coated in water? Well, if it gets all the way to here, it's going to be dry. It's not going to have any water to protect it. And it'll probably be fine, but I don't want to risk it. So I'm going to interrupt the machine right here. I think it's had plenty of time to rinse. So I'm just going to wait for the door to drain down a bit. There we go. Some nice steam. Okay, so I see a couple keys floating around in there, so my efforts weren't entirely successful, but let's see what happens here. Now just dry all the parts. If you have something like air vents on the floor of your home, maybe you can put this on top of there. The main thing you want to do is to prevent water from dripping on here or getting trapped between these layers, because that'll really ruin your day. here it is with somewhat better lighting, and you can see, it's not perfect. There's a little bit of splashes where it didn't rinse off all the soap. That'll just come off with a little moist towel, and you get, you can kind of see one here. This is where the support was inside the basket. Kind of made a shadow there. So I'm going to try this live. Hopefully it works. Plug this in. USB. The light at least blinked. Caps lock works. Let's try typing hello. Hello. Okay, actually a couple parting thoughts. This staining you see here, it's actually not coming off so easy. It's not just soap. What I did here was I accidentally left some of the soap on here for an extended period of time, and I let it dry on the keys. So now that's apparently not interesting to the camera. Okay, so that's not coming off too easy. So I tried water, tried some alcohol. Haven't tried acetone yet, but I don't think I will. So that seems to be fairly permanent now. So if you do this, make sure you give this thing a very good rinse. I think what happened was I rinsed it off and I turned it upside down and shook it, and then I just left it there. I didn't towel off the remaining moisture. So if you do this, rinse it, shake it off, and then dry it. Maybe rinse it off again. Thanks for watching. Hope that was useful.